2023 G80 BMW M3 Competition xDrive powered by the S58 engine. That's a 3-liter twin-turbocharged inline-six, and in this competition trim, making 503 horsepower, 479 pound-feet of torque. In the xDrive configuration, which is their all-wheel drive setup, which is rear biased, it is heavier, 3,900 pounds compared to the rear-wheel drive only. But the nice thing about xDrive is that it's rear biased. Out here at Road America, great track for a vehicle like this. First impressions, this thing makes so much power in this all-wheel drive configuration, competition xDrive. It feels right, it feels proper, and the biggest surprise is how willing it is to change direction, because the thing weighs almost 4,000 pounds. But BMW has tuned this so that it handles so incredibly well. Gently leading into that throttle, and it hooks up, it puts the power down, no drama, no stress. The ZF 8-speed, incredibly fast. It's really a faultless transmission. We focus on the fact that it's a torque converter and not a dual clutch, but it's almost as good as a dual clutch. The feel of the shifts, the speed, the precision, it's really there. Steering though, the thing I don't like is that it is a bit numb. It's actually very dead. Very sharp front end, actually kind of over boosted, a bit artificially fast steering ratio, but very responsive, very sharp, but you're not getting any information. This thing is an Autobahn missile, and even in the turns, it can manage itself quite well, but you lose a lot of the emotionality and connectedness of the vehicle by having the steering that's completely dead, or the competency that's actually maybe a little bit too drama-free. The nice thing though is that with the xDrive, I love the way they tuned it, because you get the best of both worlds, right? Normally with all-wheel drive, you're giving a trade-off where you get the stability and traction off the line, but you lose some of that drama. But the way that they've tuned it here is beautiful, because they're really keeping it very heavily rear biased, such that you can get the rear to step out. You can get a bit of rotation on throttle, and you get the best of both worlds, because the front wheel drive will help you put down the grip when you're starting from a dig, or even when you are getting a little bit tail happy, it will help reel you in and keep you safe. So really impressive what they've done there. The one time you do feel the heft is when you get on the brakes, and it's not under braked by any means. The brakes are definitely confidence inspiring and very firm, and good modulation there, and they encourage you to push the car, but you can feel the mass more so during braking versus accelerating or cornering. It's a really, really competent vehicle, and we've driven these before, both on street and track. I think part of the reason they can make it feel so good at the weight and hide a lot of its weight is that they make it so stiff, which, in my opinion, it makes it a little bit too stiff to daily drive. For a stock OEM vehicle coming out of the factory this stiff, I think it's going to be hard for a lot of people to daily drive something like this. But if you are able to, then yeah, you get the practicality, the 4 doors, plenty of space. It makes a lot of sense as a single dual duty vehicle, as long as you're willing to make that trade-off of the comfort as a daily driver, and also lacking some of that connectedness, lacking some of that emotionality. But the level of performance here is truly mind-boggling. And while the ZF is great, I still personally would choose the manual transmission just for that little bit more of engagement, because I feel like this car is lacking engagement. So that helps to make up for some of it. Again, it's a great automatic transmission, and no fault if you do decide to go the auto over the 6-speed. And in fact, some could even argue that the ZF makes more sense, because the performance of this vehicle is so high that with a manual, you're kind of holding it back in a way. But my friends, let me know what you think of the G80 M3 Competition xDrive with a comment down below.